Don't judge. Stories to transform your heart. Words that hurt and heal. How many times have you judged someone without knowing what lay behind that faded smile or different behavior? It's so easy to point fingers, but we forget that we don't know anyone's heart. Today, I will share 2 touching stories that will touch your heart and transform the way you see the world. Together, we'll also reflect on biblical parables that teach us how to act with love and compassion, following in the footsteps of Jesus. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. Matthew 7:1. Story 1. The woman at the coffee shop setting. Camilla, a 35-year-old woman, was a manager at a large marketing firm. She was always impeccably dressed, wearing high heels, elegant clothes, and perfect makeup. Everyone knew her as a demanding professional, but distant and cold. Every morning, she stopped at the same coffee shop near her work, where a young man named Andre served customers with a bright smile. One day, Andre saw her complaining impatiently to another employee. "Why are you all so slow? Some of us have busy lives and can't wait." Even though Andre was used to impatient customers, he couldn't help but think, why do people like her think they're better than everyone else? The judgment and the reality. Later that same week, Camila sat alone in the corner of the coffee shop. Andre, curious, observed her from afar. She looked different. She wasn't wearing makeup. Her clothes were simple, and her eyes were red, as though she had been crying. Driven by curiosity and empathy, Andre approached her gently and asked, "Is everything okay? You look like you might need something." Camilla looked at him, surprised, and smiled sadly. For the first time, she shared the weight she carried. "I lost my husband last year, and since then, I've been raising my 2 small children alone while working. I'm not complaining, but sometimes it's hard. I just try to look strong." Andre froze. The woman he had judged as cold was simply trying to survive in a world that didn't stop to listen to her pain. The transformation. The next day, Andre prepared a special coffee with a note. "You are stronger than you think. God is taking care of you." Camila picked up the note, and for the first time in months, she felt seen, like someone understood her heart. Biblical lesson. This story reminds us of the parable of the Good Samaritan, Luke 10:25-37. Often we look at people with contempt or indifference, but Jesus teaches us to act with love and compassion even when we don't understand their struggles. Love your neighbor as yourself, Mark 12:31. Story 2. The teacher who was judged. Setting. Rodrigo, a 45-year-old man, was a teacher at a public school in a rural area. He had graying hair, worn-out clothes, and a tired expression. His students liked him, but parents often questioned his competence. "How can he teach our children when he looks so unkempt?" a mother whispered during a meeting. One day, during a school celebration, Rodrigo arrived late, his shoes covered in mud. The glances were quick and the tongues were sharp. "This man doesn't take care of himself. He must be incompetent." The truth behind the appearance. One morning, a student named Miguel decided to follow Rodrigo after class, curious to learn more about his life. What he saw brought him to tears. Rodrigo left the school and hurried to a small house in a rural community. There, he took care of his 10-year-old son, who was in a wheelchair after a car accident that had taken the life of Rodrigo's wife. In addition to teaching during the day, Rodrigo worked at night in a workshop to pay for his son's medical bills and education. The exhaustion that everyone judged as sloppiness was, in truth, the reflection of a father doing the impossible to keep his family's dignity intact. The impact. Miguel told the other students, and within weeks, the story spread. The community came together and organized a fundraiser, collecting enough money to renovate Rodrigo's house and buy a new wheelchair for his son. During the donation delivery, a mother approached Rodrigo and said, I judged you unfairly. Forgive me. You are a hero." Rodrigo smiled with tears in his eyes and replied, "We never know the burdens people carry, but we can always choose to be kind." Biblical lesson. This story reminds us of the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector, Luke 18:9-14, where the Pharisee judged and exalted himself while the tax collector humbly sought God's mercy. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Luke 18:14. Conclusion: don't judge, practice love. How many times have we judged someone based only on appearance or behavior without knowing their story? The stories of Camila and Rodrigo show us that judgment blinds us to love and compassion. Jesus left us with a powerful teaching. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. Matthew 7:1. Before you judge, ask yourself, do I know what this person is going through? Practice empathy. See the world through their eyes. Choose to be a light. Instead of judging, offer help or a kind word. And you? Have you ever judged someone unfairly or been judged yourself? Share your story in the comments. Let's practice love, compassion, and follow the teachings of Jesus together. Like the